Okay.
Wow, world of water. We want to share with you a little bit today about some of the things that brought us to this place to be able to help everyone that has a desire to have pure water for life. So we'll start with just a little bit of information that we've shared some with you before, but around 3 years ago now, I was in in a missionary service in a church here in Indiana. And the missionary was from Central America, talking about the number one reason why children die in these foreign countries is because of bad water. And then they would tell how would go into a village and help them have pure water, and the children would be saved and have not be still be around for years to come, possibly. And they would also have pure water themselves, and then they would share with them about the Bible and spiritual things and the water of life and Jesus, etc. And as I listened to that, I thought that's a great thing to do. But there's over 300 million people in the United States, and nobody that I could find had tried to do something to get the word out that everybody needs a water filtration system, that in an emergency, if 5 to 7 days or more they were without electricity, they would need to have something that would give them pure water. If they didn't have it, how many would survive? And if they did, how many would survive well because of having unclean water? So as I began to think about that, I went on the journey to try to find what would work for that, to be able to change the lives of everybody that desired to actually be prepared beforehand. And I also have said there's 4 words that some people will have to say where they shouldn't have to, and that would be I wish I had. We have the way for you to never have to say that related to having pure water for the rest of your life. We've shared some about that before in more detail in some of our other podcasts. Today we want to go just a little bit different, and our thought was that we would primarily help as I mentioned, the United States, and we are focused there, and we are working there, and we are helping there. Again, we're in Indiana. We're here to serve the United States, and as I thought about that more, uh, who's the ones that have the greatest need to have someone to help them have pure water in an emergency if there was a situation as I just described? And the answer to that, of course, is those that are already being served by someone else for their food and shelter. For example, homeless shelters. They have never, most of those that we've been able to talk to have never done anything to prepare to have pure water in an emergency like what we just described. They have food, they have shelter, they do the clothes, they do those things. In fact, I talked to a lady just a few weeks ago, and as we were talking about this, and I mentioned to her that we were trying to help those with homeless shelters to help those that they serve, up to 300 people per day, no matter how long an emergency lasts, or even if there's not an emergency, they can have pure water for those they serve. And she said, I have served and worked in homeless shelters most of my life, and I've never heard anybody talk about preparing for pure water in an emergency. That is what we're doing, and that's part of what we do. And the system we have is very inexpensive. It also has a lifetime guarantee from the manufacturer. It also never have to buy another filter because it's designed, it's gravity flow, and whenever it slows down a little bit, all you have to do to make it continue for a lifetime is just reverse the filter and purify it and backwash it, in other words, with the pure water that it already created. So you never have dirty water. It's just a matter when it slows down a little bit that then it's time to just take that pure water it's created, reverse it, and now you have still up to 150 gallon per day every day, and help being able to help up to 300 people. So that's the part of that we talked about, and that's what we have for anybody as far as that goes. But as our nonprofit entity, that's what we think about, and that's what we have had begun to focus on to help with that. So there's one thing that we found early in this process as we were just developing the system. anybody and everybody needs it. There's not only certain people that need or want pure water, everybody needs it. So one of the first ones that we had as we began to make this available was we had a couple. The the man's name was Joe, and Joe had he had brain cancer, and it was fairly well along. And what he had to do is to only drink pure water, and they were going to the store and buying bottled water, and it was costing them $55 a month plus going to get it and back for the gas, etc. And the doctor had said it would likely be about 10 months at the most for Joe to live. And we had someone to say, okay, I want to donate one of these systems to Joe and his wife so they can have pure water for as long as Joe lives and not have to spend that 55 plus dollars per month. Joe lived around 10 months. So it was around $600 that they saved by someone caring enough to give them a filtration system that would take care of their needs. And of course, the wife still has it as long as she lives. So that's what we have. And that's what's so special about this. And I began to think, who do you know and who do you think about that you would like to see have pure water for life? When we talked about homeless shelters and how we raise funds in our nonprofit to help those in homeless shelters, that is what we do. But that's like asking you to say, will you give us into our charity some funds that we can give and or donate a system for every $100 we receive in a donation in a nonprofit, we can donate one of these systems to one of those homeless shelters where they have that pure water for up to 300 people for life. So that's what we do. But as I thought about that a while back, I said, okay, I'm asking you to give me money to do something good to help somebody else. That's great. We love it. You can do that as much as you like because we can help a lot of people. But what if I gave you the opportunity to actually for you to be the one to decide who you'd like to see to get that and have pure water for life? Those that you care about. Is it your children, your grandchildren, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters, your mom and dad? Or maybe it's a church. Maybe it's a homeless shelter that you know. Whatever that is, we've made it so simple that you have the ability to help as many people as you want to very easily. The most effortless thing that I could say that you could do. All you have to do is for every $100 you decide to donate to our nonprofit entity, all you have to do is say, this is who I would like for to receive it. I would like these 5 people or these 2 people or these 100 people, whatever. These are the ones I would like to receive. And all you have to do is give us their shipping address and we take care of everything else for you. You don't have to do anything else. You can just bless them with something that's lifetime guarantee and a lifetime benefit for them and a gift from you to those you care about as well. So that's the way that works. Then, of course, you get the tax benefit as well by giving to the nonprofit entity. And then, of course, there's nobody I know that doesn't need one, so you need one as well. So when you purchase one, it's also $100 donation. You don't get a tax benefit from that, but you get the water filtration system for life for yourself. And if you have more money to give than that, you actually can give it and donate it to UA Legacy Grants, our nonprofit entity, and we will give every $100 we'll be able to help somebody else have pure water for life, the homeless shelters and others. Your church may have an interest in it as well, for example, and you may want to do something with them. So then another thing that happened early in the process, as we developed this and began to get the word out about it, we had a person, a lady that was taking care of the elderly with those their needs with podiatry and massage therapy, etc. And before she purchased our water filtration system, she would give them a glass of water and put a little bit of lemon in it. But the water in that city was terrible, she said, and so she'd put a little lemon in it to make it taste a little better. And they'd drink a little bit and set it back down. But when she got our water filtration system, safer, cleaner water, she actually said that when she got it, that she would put it out and not have to put lemon in it. And what she would say to them is, we want to bless you with water for life, and we want to share with you pure water. And they would drink some and they say, this is great. And they would want some more and drink some more. But anyway, that happened. That was interesting as well. And then the other thing that's neat is this is not only helps with the thing what we've talked about with pure water and those things, but it also helps with there's added benefits. The environment, of course, is one thing, and related to that is the ecosystem with the bottled water, and as you I'm sure probably know, a lot of those are not necessarily that great as far as purity, and then of course in plastic as well. But what we have is the system also takes out 100% of the microplastics, so that's another added benefit. And then you know you since you can serve so many people in an emergency, that's really a blessing for you as well. Um, for example, the one of the first ones that purchased the system lives in a subdivision, and as we was talking to him about it, he paused and he said, "Mark, with one filter and one system, I could actually take care of my whole subdivision as long as an emergency was needed, as long as it lasted." And that's true. So that's what we have. And then there's the last thing I want to share with you today is I mentioned earlier that I thought it was a U.S. focus to help everybody in the U.S., and that is our first and desire to do that because it, it's hard for you to believe possibly, but the United States is one of the most that needs it more than anybody else. They don't think they do because they have water running all the time. They think, well, I don't need anything. I've got electricity. I've got a faucet. But what happens again if the electric goes out 5 to 7 days or more? What do you do then? This takes care of that. So that's why we were saying we're focused on this. But what we realized in the last 8 weeks, there's been something happen that I had to change one thing in my presentation when I had it on paper. And we had said we're 100% focused on the United States. And I said, I need to take out 100% because this is a worldwide project. Millions of people can be helped with this project, with the way we have it, with what we do. In fact, as I developed it, I had a vision. And in that vision, I was actually not on a mountain, but I was awake and I was up high and I just looked out, and as far as I could see was millions of people walking toward me and looking up and saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as I sat there and meditated, I realized that what we're doing with pure water is something that will change millions of lives and help them live a better life, a longer life, and be able to help others as well. So it's a real blessing for that to happen. But then, as I realized in the last 8 weeks, I've been getting contacts from many nations around the world. We have one that's walking across Africa to promote pure water, and he's helping showing them how to drill wells in areas that can be done. But he's also taking these filters and donating them to some of those villages and communities that don't have that. And of course, anybody outside of the 15-kilometer range of that well is not going to be able to have help anyway. So these take care of anybody wherever they are, no matter where they are in the world, as long as there's some water source except salt water. So it could be a creek or river, rainwater, anything you can think of, and it takes out everything that would make you sick and gives you the ability to have pure water, no matter what situation you're in or where you are in the world. So that's what we have, and that's what we're doing. And as we recognized the need with the worldwide concept, it's amazing. Again, the last 8 weeks, and with Paul walking across Africa, and then also has already come back for 4 different times now. And then with that larger vision, just like Ecuador, Uganda, Kenya, South Africa, and more. And we also have, as I'm talking here today and sharing with you, also have 5 more presentations to make in the next 5 days. More wanting to know about what we have and the way it works. In the United States, for every $100 you donate, because you get the filtration system and the container and the filter and the adapter kit and the shipping included for the $100. But we're not going to ship the container across the world. They can get the container there, but we say let's send everything else, and each of those, including shipping, are only around $60. And what we also teach people, some of the ones that are receiving them, are saying, okay, here's a person like a lady, for example, that's connected to those that we serve. But we asked her if we gave her one of these filtration systems, would she share it with two other families? And the answer is always yes. And so what happens? There's now three families can take advantage of that. So what that means, for $20, each of those families, for somebody that donates $20 to those charities that they love that are working with us, or to us to help those in the world as well, that for $20, that family, no matter how large it is, has pure water for the rest of their life with just a one-time purchase, a donation that somebody gives and we donate to them for $20. There, there's nothing you can think of that if you do that for someone, they'll never forget you. And whatever you want to share with them in a positive way, of course, they're going to listen to you because you gave them the one thing almost above anything else they could need, that they need to have forever for their life. And you made that possible. I really appreciate you letting me share this with you today. And I trust that you think about that and anything you want to do to help. There's information on the podcast there that you can see. And again, safercleanerwater.com is one of the websites. uagrant.com is the nonprofit website, and you can actually go there and purchase and do what we just described and share the good news with everybody and tell everybody that you know, wow, world of water. Thank you.